And welcome back to the Chicago Bears franchise rebuild. Here today, we will be going through year 10 of the franchise. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. Well, today is the day. With this upload here, this could potentially be the series finale. That's going to be most likely the title of this video, series finale. But we have an opportunity that if we make it to a Super Bowl, there will be one more episode. Will that happen today? I don't know. As we're coming off of a 11-6 record, a one and done in the postseason, and you know, not many more questions need to be answered. We are a playoff caliber roster, but we don't have enough juice to get us over the top, and that's what we're looking to gain here in this last off season, and hopefully we're able to get some talent on this team. Looking at the current state of the roster, offensively, there's one glaring need, and that's a wide receiver. I think we desperately need a top 5, top 10 wide receiver to help Cliff Nicholson. And because of the fact that this is the last off season we're going to be going through, there's going to be much more thought and much more of trying to go all in type of ordeal. So we're going to try to get some good players. Offensively, I think wide receivers are our biggest need. Across the offensive line, I think we're set. I think we're set everywhere else. Defensively, well, I think barring anything that happens with Jalen Johnson and Harris, those are really the last two big free agent decisions that we have to make. Barring them rejecting us and we having to go into free agency, figuring out the cornerback position, I think our defense is very much set. If there's an opportunity to get a big-time player, we will go get them. But we have the pieces. We have the pieces to the puzzle. It's just up to them to put it all together. So let's get right into free agency. Let's get right into re-signing. And then, let's get into the offseason. As we have $45 million to work with. Walker here, who we traded for last year, who had a solid campaign as our number 2 wide receiver. I'm not going to worry about the 5th-year option with them. I'm just not going to. Carlos Cannon here, we traded for him. He's a solid guard, but I think might as well save the $5 million for someone else. Jalen Johnson here, he is absolutely a player I want to keep. So I'm going to offer him a 1-year, $15 million. See if he comes back. He does, and I'm happy about that decision. That leaves us with $30 million. Harris is really the last major decision that we have to make. And I think with Harris, I am going to offer him a 3-year deal. Maybe bump up the money just a little bit. I am going to restructure contracts, try to just give us as much room as possible. And Darren Harris here, he re-signed, so we keep our 2 linebackers, we keep our corners. Really, we got to go find a number 3 corner and then a big-time wide receiver. So let's get to the offseason. Let's get to open free agency. I'm going to restructure some contracts and maybe try to make a trade or 2. And a deal has been made. We are trading away our 2 years from now, our next 2 first-round picks. We're not using them, so might as well try to get some value from them. A second-round pick a year from now, and the only selections that we're trading away from this current draft that we're going to go through is a 3rd-round pick and a 6th-round pick to get Sheldon Watkins from the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Watkins here, he's a true legitimate number 1 receiver. 6'3", 228. He's an excellent underneath guy. He can do a little bit of everything out of the slot, exactly what we need. I know he doesn't have that much of a deep accuracy or deep route running, but I think he can push the football down the field and really help us out here. He's coming off of his best season as a Cardinal. I think we play him in the slot, and, you know, And this kind of opens the door potentially for like a walk-in or a walker type of trade, trying to just recoup some picks if we wanted to. But overall, I really like this decision to get Watkins on the roster. Trading some more draft capital, this time to the Jags to get Andrew Edwards, a corner. Andrew here, he's a top-tier cornerback in my opinion. I know he might be just an 85 overall, but he's a top-tier man cover corner. He can play a little bit of zone as well. I think he will solidify our secondary with Andrews, Cox, Johnson. Of course, you got Sheffield and Reeves at safety. I think this solidifies our secondary room, and it puts us in a prime position with these two trades to get us over the top. Now, I've yet to make any sort of free agents or draft decisions, but right now we're entering into this class with 4 selections. I'm okay with that. I really don't think that... I'm not going to trade away all of these picks. I'm not going to completely screw over the franchise, but we're going all in. But, of course, I believe that there's still the bug that we're dealing with here. Yeah, there is. So, can't target any of these free agents, no matter how much some of them I would absolutely love to. But we'll enter into open free agency with $40 million, and we're going to spend it. And we're going to spend all of it, trying to get some blue chip players. I'm making 2 offers here. Rashad Slater and Chris Jones here to solidify our lines, and I think that these would be very good moves for our team. Let's see if we got some new Bears. And we got both. We got Rashad Slater and Chris Jones. $5 million out to work with. I'm not gonna... There's no one else that was out in free agency that I really wanted. So let's get to this draft class. We have 4 picks, and let's make the most out of them. Well, this is the current state of the roster after the free agent off-season or free agent signings and trades. So we have a new wide receiver 1, Sheldon Watkins here, as we traded from him from the Cardinals, and that to me solidifies our receiving core. I think we have solidified our running back core. We have our top tier tight end. We brought in Rashad Slater here to be our left tackle of the future. Well, not of the future, but at least the band-aid for a season, and hopefully to help put us over the top offensively. Defensively, we went out there, brought in Chris Jones here, help out the interior of our defensive line, get a top-tier pass rusher / run stopper, as well as helping out the secondary by trading for Andrew Edwards here, who I think will be a solid playmaker for our defense. He's more of a man cover corner, but that's okay with me. And yeah, and as we enter now into this draft class, I mean, we can kind of go BPA. We have our defensive line, we have our linebacking unit. I know there's not a lot of change, but we added 4 very much key important starters, and I think that we did enough. I think so. I hope so. But the New England Patriots hold the first overall pick here in the 2030 NFL Draft. Let's see who the Patriots will select. Deion Fisher, quarterback, North Carolina. At this moment in time, our team is so good and we have starters across the board. With our first selection, Alfonso Betic here. He will be the selection safety, who has 85 speed, normal dev. Did I just fuck up that selection? I really hope I didn't. Just trying to continue to add receiver depth. Kawhi Ray here in the second round will be the pick. 91 speed, also normal dev. We have 2 more picks to be made. We need a kicker here in the 4th round. Bob Bass here will be the selection. 91 kick power, normal dev. Oh, Bob, you're going to be the kicker for this year. And with the last pick we're going to be making here, Bobby Watson, linebacker, will be the selection. 82 speed, normal dev. So my last draft class here in the Bears, we don't even get a hidden dev player. So no more picks, not looking to trade anything else. Let's go see their overalls. Let's go see what we did. I mean, hey, we came out of this offseason with 4 impactful starters. As well as, hey, we drafted a solid future safety, even though this is the last time I'm going to be simming or anything. We got a good physical wide receiver here who can do a little bit of everything, and heck, could even probably play running back if you think about it with those skill set. He might not be a huge power guy, but he could do it. We got a solid kicker here in Bob Bass here. Hopefully the best kicker that was on the board. And then to finish the draft class, Bobby Watson here. Solid, okay, more of a practice squad candidate than anything, but a 4-pick selection. This draft class had some solid talent. I don't know if anyone really fell to us. I mean, we could have gotten probably a solid tight end here. I mean, there were probably a few players that we could have selected, but decided to pass on them. Got the players. So let's get through preseason. Let's get into the regular season and play some football. Well, here we go. We have reached the regular season. This will be the opening day roster. We have a quality offensive line. We have playmakers. We have a number 1 running back. We have a solid number 2 back. We have a number 1 receiver. We have 3 other quality wide receivers. Really, in my opinion, the rest of them, all 5 of them. We have a top tier tight end. We have a quarterback that has made it to the postseason every single season. And it's time for us to put it all together and go out there and win a championship. I don't want to end this series today, but it's not up to me. It's up to the simulation. Defensively, this will be the starting unit here on defense. We are welcoming back Jermaine Edmonds. He was out in free agency. Might as well bring back a familiar face to the defense. But, you know, we have a good secondary. We have a very good secondary, in my opinion. A good defensive line, quality pass rushers. Let's just put it all together here, ladies and gentlemen. And let's go out there in the last season here, potentially, of the Bears. Let's go right into it. Well, we've made it to week 8. We're 4-2, behind the Minnesota Vikings, who are 5-2. And we're putting together a quality season across the board. It's gonna continue playing well. It looks like we had a weekly award, and it's for Cliff Nicholson coming off a 3-touchdown day. So far, so good for this roster. So hopefully we can continue putting wins together here. Not looking to make any more trades. Just wanted to check in and show you guys the progress of the team. So actually, I'm gonna sim to week 18, and then we'll do a bit of a stat update and everything like that. As we've made it to week 18, and we're currently putting together our best season yet. Current playoff picture puts us as the number 1 seed. Playoffs ended today. Now, of course, if somehow we lose versus this Rams team, the Vikings get a win. I don't know how all the seedings work. Just to show you guys the negotiation, we have $77 million. You know, I would definitely be re-signing walk-ins. Definitely Cox here, Orlando, Winters. I mean, not going to be worrying about this too much, really not at all, just because we don't have a need to. But let's sim now and see where we stand here in the postseason. Can we beat the LA Rams? And we do. And that gives us a 15-2 record. We're in the top 4 in every major category. That is huge for this team. A 15-2 regular season record. That is huge to end the season. Exactly what you want to see. Let's just auto upgrade. That's kind of what I've been just kind of doing now. But let's go check out some stats here and awards. So Cliff Nicholson. Oh my, he decided to put on a show in the last year of the franchise. Of course he did. Cliff here, 41 touchdowns, 3 picks, most career passing yards, touchdowns, lowest interception rate, lowest probably sacks, highest completion percent. Yeah, he's having a career high in every single major category. Centric choice here, 1,400 yards and 6 scores. Clay Roberts added 8 on the ground. Nicholson here might be in the MVP category with 44 touchdowns. Sheldon Watkins here, Hey, 1,200 yards, 13 scores. Jerry Gay finishes it off with 1,000 yards and 12 with almost 100 receptions. Tyler Scott continuing to provide for us. Doug Anthony had a solid campaign. No one else really got involved. In terms of this offensive line, the interior played very well. Rashad Slater, the veteran that we brought in, he struggled. Defensively, Steven Timmons led us in tackles like he always does, but Chris Jones added 25 TFLs, and Chuck Gardner added 20 as well. Sacks, Kevin leads us again in sacks, it looks like, with 9.5, with Chris Jones 9. And we got some quality pressure. Jalen Johnson adds 3 more interceptions, same here with Andrew Edwards, and a couple other interceptions as well. Kicking wasn't the best from our rookie kicker, but that's okay. And it looks like we really didn't even return the football. But let's look at yearly awards, and Cliff Nicholson is number 2 in the MVP category. Well, that bites. We won Coach of the Year. That's the first Coach of the Year award we've won, and it feels like it's been forever since I've won a Coach of the Year reward. Best offensive player of the year goes to Nicholson. Watkins is right behind him. Defensively, Chris Jones Chris Jones is in the top 5 for defensive player of the year. Rookie of the year, probably nothing for us. Quarterback of the year goes to Nicholson. Running back of the year choice is number 6. Best receiver, Sheldon Watkins. Johnny Derby, Christian Ryans, both who got it into the top 5 in terms of best offensive lineman. Chris Jones played very well. Chuck Gardner, Kevin here got into the linebacking category. And then defensive backs, Jalen Johnson is number 3, and we don't have a kicker. So we're coming off of our best season. I am going to spend the staff points, and then we'll get to see who will be playing in the divisional round. And we're playing against the Seattle Seahawks here in the divisional round. The Seattle Seahawks, the number 7 seed, just beat the Niners, the number 2 seed. Well, I mean, it will be very interesting if Seattle beats us here today. And if you didn't know from earlier in this series, before we did all these sim years and everything, we traded away Justin Fields to the Seattle Seahawks. So it's now another revenge type of game here for Fields, who is developed into an excellent franchise quarterback for this team. He very much turned his career around ever since coming here to Seattle. He just threw 27 touchdowns and 1 interception, but he's been on this team for a while now. He's led them to multiple playoff victories, and we'll see how we'll fare now against Fields and this team here. They still have Kenneth Walker. They brought in a big-time linebacker. Breston here, he's been a great defensive tackle. Trout here has been an excellent tight end for them. They still have such a good roster that they've put together over the years. So let's see if we can continue to win here. Can we beat the Seattle Seahawks and move to the NFC Championship game? Let's see. Come on, team. Please. And we did. We beat them 21-0. Oh my goodness. We just beat the team that we traded away our old franchise quarterback to. And now we play against the Minnesota Vikings, who has been a team that we played against multiple times. I don't really know our record against the Vikings, but they're a very good team. They still have Justin Jefferson. Trevor Lawrence is their starting quarterback right now. Brad Springs is their new running back. There's not a lot of players that I truly recognize anymore. I mean, there's a few, but this is a quality Vikings team. Should be a lot of fun to play against them. We have one more. Can we get to the Super Bowl? Do we have one more episode? If after simming this game, we get to a Super Bowl, we have one more episode to record. Let's see it. Do your Chicago Bears make it to a Super Bowl? And no, we don't. We lost. No. We lost to the Vikings 19 to 17 or 21 to 19. You gotta be kidding me. We put together an excellent roster. What more can you really sit here and do and say? I mean, we went out there, I traded for multiple to 2 key starters. I just can't believe it. So in this franchise, you know, the first 4 years of the franchise, we weren't good. We didn't make it to the postseason. And then throughout this simulation, we have made it to 2 NFC Championship games. We've been one and done a couple of times. So before I continue just to sim along here, let's look at some stats. So let's look at Dwight Pianzo here. Just won Coach of the Year. Pianzo. Where is he? Oh my God, I can't even find him. Here we go. Dwight Pianzo finishes his career with 94 career wins, 76 career losses, over, 50% win rate. 7 winning seasons, which is very good for a 10-year head coach. 6 playoff wins, 8 playoff losses. Not really the best playoff to win rate, but solid so far. Let's look at some career stats. So Cliff Nicholson in 7 seasons, and I would assume if we continue to sim, he would continue putting up very good numbers and stuff. But Nicholson here ends his career with less than 30,000 total passing yards, 217 touchdowns, 63 interceptions. Very good career so far. Eric Choice is on his way to 10K rushing yards, 47 touchdowns. Nicholson also has 2,000 yards on the ground as well. Receiving wise, Tyler Scott, who played all of his time here in Chicago. He's just a little bit shy of, well, he needs another probably 2 seasons to hit 10,000 career receiving yards. And that's mostly just due to longevity and stuff. But Tyler Scott, when I inherited the team, I didn't know what to picture here for him. And, he was a rookie receiver. I think he was like a 72 overall, 71 overall. Just wanted to give him an opportunity, and he turned out to be a fine wide receiver in his career. Yes, he only eclipsed 1,000 yards one time. Yes, he never eclipsed 10 touchdowns in a single season. But consistent is what you need sometimes. Jerry Gay here, who's played a majority of his entire career here, 6,000 yards, 56 touchdowns. So happy to see that. Doug Anthony. I really thought Anthony, when I drafted him, could turn into the next DJ Moore for us, but because he has such a great skill set here, but he just never really turned out the numbers that you needed. And then all these guys here. In terms of offensive line, that's that. Here's Tremaine Edmonds, and a lot of his production came with us, between these sacks and interceptions. In terms of TFLs, Chuck Gardner, he turned out to be an excellent selection. He was in the same draft class as Jerry Gay. That was a very good draft class for us. And he turned out to be a very good pass rusher. I know he's had career or seasons like 6 sacks or 5, and he's only had 2 years with over 10 sacks, but he was just such a consistent player in the running game and in the pass rushing game. Who else? Steven Timmons here. From year 1 or year 2, he was an undrafted rookie and just kind of made a name for himself very quickly on. He made it to 2 Pro Bowls. He was a very good linebacker for us. And then, you got Max Cox, who we drafted, part of the first draft class for us. And in reality, you could argue he was the better of the 2 first-round picks between him and Kendall Bush. Not even just arguably, it's no doubt here. turned into a true legitimate shutdown corner. Very happy with how his career has turned out. I brought back Stevenson here just to show you guys, you know, gotta care about the players that was on this team. He finished his career with 11 INTs. Danny Reeves is a player that we've drafted. He honestly has not turned out to be the player that I thought he could be. I think he's kind of been a disappointing safety. You know, he is not a ball hawk. He doesn't force sacks. You know, he doesn't do that much in terms of playmaking ability, but he's just a solid tackler and everything. You know, but let's go look around the league. And let me see if I can find some players just to kind of highlight for you guys. I don't remember everywhere everyone is at, so give me a minute. I will show you some career stats from everyone, and then we'll sim and see who wins the Super Bowl. Well, here's Christian Murray. You know, Murray, part of the, I believe the second or, yeah, I think part of the second draft class. You know, he played a majority of the season. He led us to a playoff game. Never really got another opportunity, even with us. But Murray was a fun player, intriguing player, no doubt in my eyes. In terms of running backs, I don't think I really. Oh, it's the what's his name? I think he's on the Patriots right now. Yeah, Jonathan Howard played 2 years for us. Howard's career has turned into a solid one in the back half. You know, after starting off in the KC, not doing much, he provided a bit of a juice, and then he turned into a very consistent back after 3 years in Chicago. I think Kendall Bush is still a, what's it called, a Texan, and he is. So Kendall, he was the first ever pick in the franchise, and never eclipsed 1,000 yards, never eclipsed even not even 7 touchdowns. Kendall might have been the biggest bust that I've ever selected with my first ever pick. Which is disappointing, of course, but Kendall will always have kind of a spot in the heart. I think the Titans still have, they still have Tyler Chamberlain. Tyler was, again, part of the first draft class, turned into something more than I really thought he could become. I mean, I always thought that he would be an excellent, you know, 3-down linebacker, but he turned out to be much more than that. And he moved on to Tennessee. Actually, between him and Tremaine Edmonds, they both played together here. And they were another great linebacking duo for years to come. I think the Packers have Dexter off the top of my head. They do. Grover Dexter here, part of the rookie class that I inherited. And I really wanted Dexter to work. He just never did. It's so tough to develop defensive tackles in these games, but Grover was a good player for us. Happy to see his career kind of play well here in Green Bay. And Beach is also here. Part of also, again, the first draft class, and he's been a Green Bay Packer for the last 3 years. He was with us for a while. Turned out to be the best kicker. Then I believe the Vikings they don't. Who has Cam Richardson? Cam Richardson, our fullback, again, part of the first draft class. Turned out to be the best fullback. But let's look around the league here. Let's look at some of the higher rated players. So Zach Drew here is now the top tier quarterback in the league. You still have, of course, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, but Cliff Nicholson is on the rise right now. Better late than never, I guess. Here's Will Tuitt. Now, if you guys don't know who he is, I believe, yes. So Will is the first ever pick in this series. He played as a Raider for a while. Then he moved on to Pittsburgh. Played the last couple years here. See, Patrick Mahomes, a Jag right now. If you guys don't remember, Artie Richards Artie was the draft before we drafted Cliff Nicholson, and Artie was my favorite player coming out of the class. Just never had the chance to draft him. You got to think what the series would have been. We did. In terms of running backs, Nick Colbert here was one of my favorite running backs before we started this whole sim, and Colbert is an excellent running back, 99 speed. He's just perfect across the board. I don't think that I'm gonna really. I mean, we don't have any other running backs other than Howard. In terms of receivers, you know, there's no one really here that I could really like point out to you guys. I mean, Ben Tate from when this first started, he could have been an excellent player to just bring in. Never did. But these are some of the higher rated players. Where does Jerry Gay lined up here at tight end? Number 3, very good for him. Here, the tackle situation, just movement across the board. Let's move to the defensive line here. Again, I don't think that we really kind of let a ton of defensive linemen walk that were high quality players. And even if we did, they're probably no longer in the league anymore. But yeah, guys, what a fun series. Definitely a difficult series. If you guys remember the first few years, we very much struggled, couldn't do anything or anything really. And now my focus will be changing very quickly to Madden 25 when this video gets uploaded. Looking at before we talk about all that stuff, let's go through and let's wrap this series up properly. Cliff Nicholson, best quarterback. He got to the Pro Bowl. Same thing with Choice Daniels, Watkins, and no one else. Jerry Gay, Rashad Slater, our left tackle, our center, our right guard, and not our right tackle, unless the number 2. No. So 4 out of 5 offensive linemen are ours. Defensive line, Chris Jones got in, Chuck Garner got in. I think that's Jalen Johnson. That has to be. And then Bass, even our kicker, got in somehow. A boatload of Pro Bowlers. Best season for the roster. Unfortunately, after 10 seasons, Dwight Pianzo will retire. Just to get this out of my face. Sure, Watkins might as well just upgrade him. So who will win Super Bowl 67 here? Let's go find out. And your Super Bowl champions to finish off this season are the Minnesota Vikings, winning over the Cleveland Browns 13-7. Low scoring affair, nothing to really write home about. And over these last now 5 seasons, it's been, you know, let's look at the Super Bowl champions here. But, you know, there was a little bit of just kind of each team kind of getting a chance here between so the Ravens kicked us off with a first Super Bowl, then the Cowboys and the Chiefs, and then it kind of became a Falcons dynasty here. Falcons made it to, I believe, 5 or 6 straight Super Bowls. And then to finish off the Super Bowl run here, our 2 divisional rivals won it, between the Packers and the Vikings. 2 teams that I feel like we outplayed them multiple times, but unfortunately we couldn't get it done. So yeah, guys, for one more time, and maybe for the last time in this series, thank you all for watching the Chicago Bears franchise rebuild. So guys, this is what we're gonna end up doing. All of these videos will be uploaded before Madden 25 drops. And after Madden 25 drops, there will be a channel update type of video. It should be somewhere between 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes long at the most. And I just kind of want to go through you guys, kind of like my overall plan with the up and coming game, the new Madden here. to let you guys know, I can't play the new college football game. It's not on PC, so it's unfortunate. But I have some plans here, and I will go through them individually. In the meantime, though, you know, these episodes will all be dropping, as well as I am planning on dropping a boatload of shorts to finish off the Bears here. So expect to see those type of the short videos probably to start dropping right before, or actually in truth, probably after Madden 25 drops. So I hope you guys are excited for that. I'm excited for Madden 25. I hope you guys really enjoyed the Bears franchise. Again, I know we didn't win a Super Bowl. I know we didn't do everything that I sat here and looked out to do. But we gave this team a true legitimate shot over Cliff Nicholson's career. What more can I sit here and say? We put together an excellent team. And Nicholson finishes his career as an X Factor. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the series these last 2 seasons would have gone if DJ Moore and Josh Allen were both on the roster. I mean, absolutely, I think the series could have changed for the better. I think those 2 guys could have kept us could have put us over the top, but unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. But guys, please leave a like. Comment down below what you thought of the Chicago Bears franchise rebuild. And I will see you in Madden 25. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.